Hey, hey, hey. All right, let's do this, y'all. I'm super excited that you guys are here. I know that being on these team calls is a sacrifice of time, for all of us. And so I think that all of you are amazing for making that sacrifice and for prioritizing this. I can tell you 100% that being on these calls just changed everything about my business from the very beginning. So, and being on them live too, like plugging into the community and seeing each other's faces and, being able to just really spend time together. You can multitask, Elizabeth. That's totally fine. So I've been thinking a lot about hard things lately because this season in my life has been freaking hard, you guys. It has been a hard freaking season. I'm not going to lie. Not going to sugarcoat it. And so, during this season in my business and in my life, I've been thinking a lot about, what is hard? What does hard look like? Hey, Danielle. So when I started this business, inviting 3 people a day felt really, really impossible. It felt really, really hard. I was afraid of rejection. I was afraid of what people might think of me. I was worried people would think that I was trying to scam them. I was worried that people would feel bothered by me. I didn't want to bother anyone. I would second guess myself. I would rewrite my invitations a million times. I would feel unworthy of being somebody's coach because I felt like I don't know what I'm doing, I was fearful. I let that fear that I placed there myself, by the way, there was nothing to be afraid of, but I placed that fear and I let that hold me back. And so rather than changing my mindset and finding the ways that I could feel good about inviting, I just decided that this business was too hard. And I hit Success Club 10 every month by some miracle. I don't know how it happened, you guys, because I truly was not inviting. I really wasn't. And I was convinced that the people who were hitting goals in their businesses and getting to Diamond and, hitting like Success Club 20, like beyond 10, that they had some sort of magic trick that I didn't have. And I just decided this is too hard. This is too hard and I can't do it. And then I let those thoughts cause me to take the biggest step back in my business. And I got to Emerald in my first 30 days, you guys, as a coach, and I stayed there for a year. I stayed Emerald for an entire year, and I was hitting Success Club 10 every month. So I just decided that it was too hard. And so this season in my life, the last, few months, I've been thinking about what is hard. And I've shared with you guys what my job as a music director of a school was like. And let me tell you, that job was freaking hard. That was a lot of manual work, okay? It wasn't just teaching in the classroom. It was heavy lifting and carrying heavy instruments up and down the stairs. That was hard. I think about like manual labor in the hot sun. That is hard. Working your butt off for somebody else to make them more successful, to make them more money, to, build credibility for them and their business, that is hard. Taking time away from your family just so that you can like literally scrape by. Hey, Priscilla. Taking time away from your family so that you can live by somebody else's rules and stipulations, that's hard. Being overworked and underpaid is hard. Letting someone else dictate your life, losing a loved one, that is hard. Dealing with, cancer in your family, dealing with living paycheck to paycheck, even though you're working hard, even though you're working, 40, 50, 60 hours a week and still living paycheck to paycheck. That stuff is hard, you guys. That stuff is hard. Hey, Megan. Dealing with pain every day in your body, that is hard. But things that are not hard are scheduling 1 to 2 hours a day to work your business. Things that are not hard you know, waking up a little bit earlier so that you can message people on Facebook about something that has the potential to completely change their life. Even if that means taking a break from Netflix for a little while, even if that means, you know, taking away from your dedicated Facebook scrolling time after the kids go to bed, you know, that time where you just turn off your brain. I know, like, as moms, I think everybody here is a mom. Wow, every single one of us is a mom. As moms, like, I need time to just like turn my brain off sometimes, but you know what? I sacrifice that for my business. I really do. I sacrifice that if I need to. Even if that means, you know, letting your spouse take the kids for a little while, you know, so that you can focus for a few hours. You're helping people reach goals. You're being an encouragement to other people. You're, you know, completing the new coach training and learning how to better your business, posting a couple times per day on social media. That stuff is not hard, you guys. Helping people to change their lives, like, that is amazing. It does take hard work. It does take, you know, sometimes less sleep, but it is not hard. What's hard are, you know, the other things that we talked about. And so, you know, our mission as coaches is to help people change their lives, right? And that'll trickle down into their kids' lives, into their spouses, their extended family. I think about our society and the fact that 1 in 3 children in our country is obese. I think about, you know, their parents and the fact that their parents have no idea what kind of foods they should be giving their kids. They don't know. Nobody has taught them this stuff, you guys. And, you know, there's an epidemic of unhealthy habits in our country, and we can be the change that saves those poor children from a lifelong struggle with obesity and heart disease and cancer and stuff that could have been avoided by eating real food, right? And, you know, I think about my son, and when I send him to school 2 days a week, his teachers talk about his lunch. And they're like, oh, you always send like the most creative lunches. And I'm like, I put rice and beans and like cheese and fruit in little containers. That's not creative. That's just food. It's just food. And so I think about how people are so shocked when they see me feeding my kid real food. And it's because that's not the norm, you guys. And we get to be the ones who show the world that healthy can be normal, that healthy is just, you know, practicing healthy habits, practicing a little bit of physical movement, a little bit of healthy eating, drinking enough water, which I should probably do. People need that, you guys. People need to learn this stuff, and they need what we have to offer, and that gives me chills. Living a life of sickness and obesity and struggle, that is hard, right? And we get to help people to overcome that and to not have to live like that. And so with that being said, I want to share my slides. Hold on, where did they go? Hold up. 1 second. There we go. Okay. I had to look for my slides, you guys. Okay. So first of all, I think that as we start in this business, a lot of times I didn't realize that, you know, new coaches don't understand or don't realize that this business is not all sunshine and rainbows all the time, right? Like it can be tough sometimes, it can take perseverance sometimes, it can be highly emotional. And so while, you know, inviting people on social media is not hard, while, you know, doing our workouts and sharing a little bit and, you know, being a positive beacon of hope for people, like even though that's not hard, it really can feel hard at times. It really can, and it can be highly emotional. There have been times when I've gone weeks without a single lead, weeks without any sort of hope that I'm going to hit Success Club that month. And then boom, Success Club 10 in one day. Like the emotional highs and the emotional lows can be pretty extreme. But we all know what it's like feeling like you've put in all of this work and you feel like none of it is paying off. And that's because, you know, there's not a constant flow of success in this business. When I first started out, I got my very first month as a coach, I just went all in and I followed all of the advice that my coach gave me, and I made all the lists, and I invited all the people, and I hit Success Club 16 in my first month. And then I think it was like at 12 or something my second month. And then I continued hitting Success Club 10 every month. And then all of a sudden in December, I got 0. Nothing, you guys. 0, from 10 to nothing. And that same month, I dropped from Emerald. And then, another time in my business, I dropped from Diamond. I am currently dropped from 2-star. It happens. And, I've worked the business all the way through 2 pregnancies. I had aversions to my Shakeology when I was pregnant with Everett. I pretty much subsisted off of like cheese and rice for the first trimester of this pregnancy. My progress went out the window. I was having anxiety attacks on almost a daily basis just because apparently that's what my body likes to do when I'm pregnant. It's just freak out with anxiety. I've had days at a time this pregnancy where I literally could not walk because of sciatic pain. There have been really hard days. And so, when you're dealing with that stuff, I know Megan is here. I think, yep, Megan is still here. Megan just had a baby. And
hi everyone.
Here she is. Megan just had a baby, and she has a toddler, and she has a newborn, and she does a lot of stuff on her own, and that is hard. There are hard days. So I told you all of that. And I'm looking at the screen now, Danielle is a single mom, and she works and takes care of her kid, and she still, does this. All of us have stuff going on that's hard. And so I told you all of that because I want you to know that, even like me, I've been successful, but it hasn't been sunshine and roses. And you better believe that there have been days when I wanted to throw in the towel because I felt like it was too hard. And the temptation to quit is something that all coaches battle. I know it's been a really hard month this month. And, none of us want that, right? None of us want to quit. So I want to give you some mindset shifts, some strategies that will help you to achieve the lasting success in this business that you want. Because, I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news here, but there are going to be times where you're going to want to quit. And then there are going to be times when you're on cloud 9 and you're just like, this is the freaking best. And the times that are, on cloud 9, those sometimes are what gets us through. But before anything else, I think that it's super important to think back and think about the big things that you struggled with when you first started your business. At least that's, for me. Some people might, some people might quit because of this stuff, right? They think okay, what will people think of me when I'm doing this? I was terrified of social media, you guys, when I started my business. I had deleted my social media for over a year. I wasn't on Facebook at all. And then all of a sudden, I was supposed to post 5 times a day. That was the norm when I first started coaching you guys. 5 posts a day. Can you even imagine? So thankful that it's 1 to 3 now. But 5 posts a day is what I committed to when I signed up as a coach. And posting selfies, I was like, dang, that's the most narcissistic, vain thing in the whole world, and I'm supposed to do it 5 times a day. And that was really, really scary for me. Posting workout videos, I was like, you want me to do what? And now I can't even imagine life without it. But when I would think back of where I was when I first started, selfies and videos of myself were terrifying. I wasn't comfortable on social media. I felt like, no one cares what I had for breakfast. No one cares about what I think about, cloth diapers, or nobody cares that I use lanolin for my chapstick. Nobody cares what kind of water bottle I use, and I share about that stuff all the time now because people do care. Oh, it's so crazy. But what I didn't realize was, all of the negativity that I saw on social media, I could battle with positivity. I saw the huge time commitment up front. When I first started my business, I read that Lindsay Matway, who is the top earner in the company, you guys, she makes $3 million a year. It's so crazy. But when she started her business, she calculated it and she was making less than $2 an hour at the beginning with all of the time that she was putting in and all of the return that she got back. That was hard for me to accept at first. I'm an instant gratification person, and this business is about as far from that as you can get. It takes hard work, especially up front. And then the biggest reason when I think about why people quit is that they don't connect to their why. And so for the rest of the call, I want to talk about vision, and I want to talk about your why. I want to talk about, why you're doing this and why this is important to you and to your family. Not, I want to help people. Not, I want to, I want to make an extra income. Not, I want to inspire people, but something deeper than that. And so I want to kind of like get away from me for a second because I like to share my experience, but I thought that this example was so powerful. So when I was pregnant with Everett, my husband and I was working like 30 hours a week at a music store. I was teaching private lessons, and that was, on top of what I did with Beachbody. And I was just growing my business. I was a diamond, but not making the kind of money that I'm making now. Like, it wasn't enough. And so I was working at the music store. And toward the end of my pregnancy, it was just too much. Like 8.5 months pregnant, I was like, okay, I need to stop working at this music store for a while. So we decided that Adam would get a little bit of an extra part-time job, and he went and started working at Starbucks. And so his schedule was crazy. He was waking up at 4 a.m. and working until 9 a.m. At Starbucks. At 9 a.m., he would drive directly to the church where he would work from 9 to 4. And then there was special evening stuff 3 nights per week. And he would get home 3 nights per week around like 10:30. And so the night that I went into labor, just for an example, he had gotten up at 4 a.m. and gotten home at 10 p.m. on Wednesday. And then same thing on Thursday. I went into labor midnight on Thursday night, and like we were up for 24 hours bringing a child into the world. And like that was really hard for him. I can't even imagine being that tired and then helping my wife through childbirth. He was really busy. He had a lot of responsibilities at the church. Thank goodness Starbucks is not like a high responsibility job, but he had to get really, really intentional about why he was working at Starbucks. He had to get really intentional about like practicing positivity and saying audibly to himself on a regular basis that like, I'm doing this so that Kathryn can be home with our brand new baby when the time comes. He was doing this so that we wouldn't have to go into debt with me, like not working at the music store. He was doing that so that Everett could get the very best start to his life. And it wasn't going to be forever, right? Like he knew that it was just for a season and it was over before we knew it. But to this day, I know that he would do that again if he had to. And that's because your why needs to be so strong, that like, okay, let's say you have 2 buildings, okay? And you're over here and your why is over here, okay? And there's like a tightrope connecting the 2 buildings. Your why has to be so strong that if the building if the building with your why inside was on fire, that you would be willing to walk across that tightrope over the fire, go get your why and bring it back. It has to be that strong. And his why, so that I could be home with our baby, so that I could, like bring a child into the world without super crazy stress on my plate. That was strong enough for him to persevere through all of that hard work. And, you guys too, with your business, when those hard times come, when you feel like throwing in the towel, I want you to get so crystal clear on your why that you would be willing to walk across that tightrope and go get it and bring it back to safety. That is knowing your why and having a vision. And I've had to do that same thing with this pregnancy. There have been days when I've just wondered, gosh, what if I could just be a mom? What if I didn't have to post on social media? What if I didn't have to, I don't know, invite? What if I didn't have to create content? But when I really think about it, gosh, I would be miserable. I love this job. I get to serve others. I get to, have a huge hand in helping women transform their lives. I get to make a crazy good income for the hours that I put in. And the alternative would be to go out and get a full-time job and probably make less money working full-time. And I'm sorry, but I don't want that. I want to be with my children, and sacrificing 2 to 3 hours per day is well worth being able to do that. And so, for you, I just want you to know, like, you are not just selling challenge packs. Oh gosh. Okay, no, just kidding. Perfect timing on the slide. I always miss the slides, you guys. I'm so sorry. But you are not just selling challenge packs. That is not what this is all about. If you're just in this to make money, you're not going to make it, plain and simple, because you are more than a Shakeology salesperson. You are literally changing lives. You're giving hope. You're teaching women that they don't have to be stuck in a body they're not comfortable in. You're teaching women how to create a successful business and create financial freedom for their families. You need to know that what we do as coaches is making a huge difference. Think about all those kids with obesity, right? It's going to feel hard sometimes. There are going to be high highs and low lows, but that's why getting rock solid with your why and helping, when you start building your team, helping your coaches and even your challengers connect with their why, that's going to be just life-altering for you, life-altering. I want to retire my husband so that he can volunteer his time and be home. I want him to, be able to, he has like this crazy idea that he wants to get his doctorate, you guys. And I want him to be able to do that. If he wants to do that, I want him to be able to do that and not have to worry about like getting his doctorate and working full time. Like, I want to be able to support us on just my income so that he can focus on getting his doctorate and opening his own practice if he wants to, and, being home and creating his own hours. I want to buy my parents a house. I don't know if that sounds crazy, but one of the biggest blessings when I was in Albuquerque after my grandpa passed away a couple weeks ago, my grandma is taken care of because her kids paid off her mortgage. And I want to do that for my parents so that when they get old, they don't have to have a mortgage looming over their heads. They don't have to worry about how they're going to, make ends meet. My parents have been in ministry pretty much their entire career. And I want to help them to be able to continue doing that without stressing about their futures. I want to fight human sex trafficking, you guys. Like, I am horrified by the things that happen just like in our neighborhoods. Just in our day-to-day lives, we don't even realize that it's happening, but it's such a big deal, you guys, in our country, and I want to fight that. I want to put tons of money into that. I want to be picky with my life. I want to be able to choose what kind of life I'm going to have, and what kind of life my kids are going to have. When I was growing up, my parents were crazy busy with ministry. I heard no a lot because ministry is a labor of love, and it takes up a lot of time, and it does not pay very well. And so, my dad had to have 2 other jobs on top of ministry to make ends meet. And we were just so busy that like there was no time for piano lessons and extracurricular stuff. And, I've always been super passionate about music, and I wanted to do those things, but we just couldn't. And don't get me wrong, like, I had a beautiful life. I'm super thankful. My dad is a crazy hard worker and such an amazing example to me. But watching my parents work so hard for so little and feeling the strain of just like wanting them to be present, that woke a fire within me. And I wanted to create a different life for my family. So when I found out I was pregnant in 2014, we ended up losing that baby, but I realized that I wanted to create a life for my children that they would never have to wonder if I could be there, present for them, or if we could afford to send them to college, or, if they could pursue their dreams. I want them to go to whatever college they want to, and I want to set them up for success. And that is a why that feels important to me. That means something to me. So when somebody tells me that Shakeology is too expensive, I don't care. It doesn't, put any, I don't know, lame retardant on my fire. I can't think of another word, you guys. Pregnancy brain. But it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me when people tell me no. It doesn't bother me when people are like, I already go to the gym, or I drink Herbalife, or whatever. It doesn't bother me because I'm so connected to my why that I know that when they tell me no, first of all, it's just one step closer to a yes. I've planted a seed, and I've given them a gift, you guys. This this opportunity has been a gift for me, and I'm giving them an opportunity to allow it to be a gift for them. So connect with your why, make a vision board, focus on the big, huge things you're working towards, and I promise the no's will start to sting a lot less. Get really crystal clear on your purpose as a coach. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But remember what this business is a stepping stone to. Like, selling Shakeology is not the end all, you guys. That's not what this is about. This is about creating a lifestyle of freedom, not just for you, but for the people on your team too. So I'm actually going to skip this section, this one little slide. But I do want to encourage you to plan your month. So this one is huge. For a long time in my business, I kind of flailed through. Like, I got to post, I got to invite, like, I got to do a free group, I got to do a sneak peek, I don't know what I'm doing this week. And that doesn't work. It's really, really easy to start floundering. And you'll be working really, really hard but not getting anything done. So like I just think about like a workout program. When we're doing a workout program, like, we have our workout calendar and we have our nutrition guide, and we know that, like, okay, if I follow the workout calendar, I know I'm going to get results. Okay. So I want to give you a little formula that you can follow every month. And this will set you up for success in your business. Don't leave your business up to chance. There are so many ways that we can grow our businesses if we just plan there, but there has to be a plan. So my monthly plan, at least for a long time in my business, was week 1 of the month, my challenge group would begin, and I would invite every single challenger to the coaching opportunity. Within the first 3 days, I would ask them how it was going. And if they told me it's going awesome, I love this, I'd be like, hey, you should be a coach. And if they were like, man, I'm really not doing great, I haven't worked out in a couple days, like, I'm not feeling very motivated, I would be like, hey, you should be a coach. Because whether they're succeeding or they're failing, the coaching opportunity can help them. I was like a big fat failure at everything about fitness until I signed up as a coach. It was the ultimate accountability for me. So within the first week, I invite everybody to the coaching opportunity. Week 2, my free challenge begins. So you market the challenge group and coach sneak peek, whether you're doing the challenge group or a coach sneak peek the next week, you market for that. Week 3, your free group ends, and then you do your coaching opportunity call or your sneak peek, or you can do a challenge group sneak peek. And then week 4, market for your free group again. And so this helps, fill each group. Week 4 of the previous month, you're marketing your free group. During your free group, you're marketing for your challenge group. During that week, you're marketing for your coaching opportunity sneak peek. And so, it all kind of helps, it all kind of facilitates growth into each of those things. And let me look at my notes really quick. So again, don't leave your business up to chance. Know what it takes to hit Success Club. I know that a lot of you are like, I want to hit Success Club 5 every single month. And just to be honest, like, that's the way you succeed in this business. Just make Success Club a non-negotiable and you'll find success. And so to reverse engineer that, it takes about 64 connects, not invitations. It takes about 10 invitations for one challenge pack. Okay. So that means that if you're aiming for Success Club 5, you should be sending 30 invitations minimum per month, which that's only 1 per day, right? But that means that you have to be connecting with about 64 people per challenge pack, just starting conversations, talking to people. And so that's what it'll take minimally to hit your goals. And really, that's not a huge deal if you're running a free group, right? Because if you're running a free group, then you're connecting with a bunch of people. Okay, and then focusing on the bigger picture. It's so easy to get caught up in, all of the goals and the numbers and get burnt out. But we have to remember that, this isn't an instant gratification business. It takes time. Chances are You're probably going to miss some goals. I've missed so many goals. I've dropped rank. But what matters is, when you do miss that goal, that you keep going the next day and the next day after that. What matters is what you do on the days after you miss the goal, right? And so, there have been times in my business where I have missed huge goals. I remember my first year as a coach, I dropped Emerald the very final week in November, which means that I lost my leads for December, which was like, it had been averaging about $250 in commission from those leads. And so that meant that in the month of December, I got nothing from leads. And I was working so hard, and I dropped rank, and I was so discouraged. But that is also when I kicked my business into high gear. And by March, I was a diamond. Or no, by February, I was a diamond. So I went from dropping Emerald to diamond in the course of 2 months. And that lit a fire under me, right? So when I dropped rank, I didn't let it defeat me. I let it push me to the next level and say, you know what, I can't let this happen again, and I have to get it together. So, remember that you don't have control over other people. You can only control you. When everybody in the world is saying no, when you feel like, gosh, I'm inviting all of the people that I thought would say yes, and, man, that person told me that they were going to do this, and then they had like a water bill that was more expensive than it should have been, and so they can't do it this month. You can't control any of that. You can't control when somebody says, I'm all in, I want to crush this business, and then they ghost on you. Like, you can't control any of that. But what you can control is you and your invites and your posts and your personal fitness and nutrition, your mindset. That's all you can control. And so take a minute and think about your vision. When you first signed up to be a coach, maybe you just wanted a discount. Maybe you wanted to help people. But think about you, right? Think about your future. What does that look like? From the first day you signed up till now, what are the ways that you've grown? What ways do you want to grow beyond that? How many people do you want to help every month? How many coaches will you add to your team each month? How much money do you want to earn? How many emeralds are you going to sponsor this year? When are you going to rank advanced to diamond? When are you going to rank advanced to 2-star and get that second business center open? What will your challenge groups look like? How many Success Club points do you want to have on average? What is the ideal coach that you want to sponsor? So, think about those things. And I want to encourage everyone, your call to action tonight is to create a dream board, a vision board for your business. So this is the vision board that I made at the beginning of this year. You can see the very first one over here is a team retreat for the Freedom Collective leaders. I want to make that happen, you guys. We got to hit 5-star and hold for 6 weeks if we're going to make that happen. Because I'm not going to use that bonus for me. I'm going to use the bonus for team retreats. But we got to hit 5-star. So that's, a big goal for this team. But I just want you to see, speaking on the Dynasty United team call, that was a huge goal of mine, and I get to cross that one off. Being debt-free, you guys, that was a dream that I never could have even conceived at the beginning of this year. We have paid off over $15,000 in debt this year, and we are now debt-free because of this opportunity. Debt-free. I am having more fun with my business because I have all of you amazing people on this team. I'm nowhere near to 100,000 followers on Instagram, but, working on it. Consistency with my fitness is the one that I thought was a no-brainer, and that's the only one that's completely out the window. I want to help 5 people replace their full-time income. I want to sponsor 15 new coaches per month. I want to stick to business hours, which I have been doing. I want to speak on the National Wake Up Call. I want to be a better leader. I want to end the year as a 7-star diamond in my first business center. These are just some of the things that I have on my vision board, and I want you to think about the things that you have on your vision board. So call to action, create a vision board. Oh, I skipped this part of the call, but I encouraged you guys to do something fun with your challenge group, like, get on Zoom and drink wine and talk about something that's completely non-fitness related. But, oh, we have less than a minute. We didn't do our boomerang, you guys. We've got to do it really quick. If you're not on the screen, you can get on the screen. Oh, Amanda's here. Hi. Okay, are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Ah. Okay. I love that. It's like my favorite thing of life. I'll send it in the runners and the joggers thread and the walkers thread. I think, yeah, okay. And the walkers thread. Okay, if you guys don't have any questions, whoops, I see the chat box. Oh, it's just Elizabeth laughing. Thank you guys so much for getting on. I know that this is a sacrifice of time. I know that it is. But I also know that being on these calls just was the best thing for my business ever at the beginning. So thank you for being here. I hope that this was a blessing. And let me know if you have any questions. And I'd love to see your vision boards in the team page. Okay. Bye, guys.